Hello, hello, hello. It is Christine Michelle, and today we are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about how your desires are of God and how they're inevitable. Now, I know a lot of people, like, the word God is very strong and they don't know, like, are you referring to an infinite being or a divine being or someone over us and all the things. And what I use the word God for is that all that is energy, the energy that is within me and all around me that connects us all, right? It is source energy. It is omnipotent. It is powerful energy that is a part of us all, right? That created this, that created us, that we create with, that we are one with. We can call it source. We can call it the divine. We can call it all kinds of things, but it is the bigger spiritual part of us. And so when we talk about desires, I'm going to break it down. Of course, I'm going to give you some definitions, which are going to be cool, which your brain can get around. And we'll talk about like a definition that takes it really back. So before we talk about desires and how they're divine and how your desires are inevitable, let's first go back. During these quantum codes, we've been speaking about like simple keys and simple codes that help bring an understanding and an understanding so that you can really integrate them and start to improve the quality of your life and see the quality of your life, the quality of your manifestations improve. And one of the core codes of manifesting a life that you're obsessed with is what we're going to talk about today. And it is that your desires are divine. They are inevitable. And if we break it down just a little bit, like break it down just a tiny bit, if we look at the definition of desire in the English dictionary, it is a strong wanting or feeling or wishing for something, right? But if we take it back to the way the word was created, and it's like, it's decidere. That's the word, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's the way, when you break it down, where the word came from. It is, our human desire is a gift from God, a gift from the stars, a gift from a heavenly body, a constellation. It's a gift. And so if you knew that your desires were a gift from God, a gift from the divine, from stars, from the larger part of you, it's saying that your desires are of that energy. So how could they be wrong, right? A lot of times we don't go for what we desire, or we feel wrong for what we desire because of guilt, because of shame, and who am I to want this? And there's so many other people that don't have this, or, we just make ourselves wrong for having these desires. And what we're going to do today is heal that, so that you can really fully own your desires and remember that they're coming from your heart. They're coming from this larger part of you, because it is time for you to receive it. It's time for you to allow yourself to have it. So if we go even a little further, remember that we've been talking about quantum. We've been talking about quantum leaping. We've been talking about the quantum soup. We've been talking about all of that. If we look at the quantum soup, also known as the quantum field, it's the field of what? Possibilities. It's the field of God. It's the field of your higher self. It's the field of spirit. It is the field of limitless possibilities and versions of you that already has what you desire. And so what if there was a version of you that already has what you want, which it is, and the desires were a beckoning, a call forward within you, that it's time for you to receive it, that it's time for you to say yes to this inevitable thing that is ready for you. And by receiving it, all you had to do was embody the feelings and emotions of the you and the quantum soup that already has it. What if it was that simple? Like, okay, I have this desire to have like for me, a multi-7-figure, luxury, transformation brand that is, impacting thousands and millions of people all around the world. So I have this desire for impact and expansion, and I have this desire to really make a difference. So there is a me in the quantum soup that is doing that already, right? And so what are the things that this me feels? This me feels powerful. It feels strong. It feels so inspired by their work. It feels, so excited to see the transformations, big and small, all around the world because of the work that I'm sharing. Now, do I need to have received 7 figures in income in order to start to feel that, to feel powerful, to feel so proud of my work, to feel, that I can share it and all of that? Do I need all of that before? Like, do I need the money before I can actually feel it? Or is that just a milestone? Is it just something that gets to happen? Right? And so if I embody the feelings of making someone who makes an impact, of someone who's making a difference, if I do take the actions and move in the feeling of, this is already done, and I'm so excited for the one person that I've impacted, as if that one person is millions, right? If I really took and had pride in the ripple effect and the way things could be and all of that, like when I think about what the impact gets to be and how my impact gets to expand, I don't need to have the money to prove that it's happening. And I get to know that what I'm doing is creating bigger impact, and it gets to be supported, right? Because money supports my desires. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. So if you knew this, right? And your desires, you can start to look at your desires more as a premonition of what's coming, of what's happening, of what's already set. You could come and see your desires as a guide to where you're going. They're like, hey, you got this desire. This is where you're going. This is already done. This is inevitable. Now just get up and start moving in that feeling, moving in that vein of it. Right? Because see, the you who already has it knows that this is happening regardless. And if you knew that your desires were divine and they were of God and they were coming through you because it's now time for you to receive it, then what? Then what? Then you're not doubting it. You're not like, when is it going to happen? You're just like, I know it is. It's happening. It's unfolding. It's divine. It is coming up, because if it wouldn't come up, if it wasn't something that I could not have, this is something that I can have. This is something that a version of me already has. And now I get to be the woman who already has it. So it's important that you start moving towards the desire with the potent power of knowing that it's already done. And so I always use this example. If your desire to get to California from Florida, right? So I'm in Florida, I'm in St. Pete, and I'm like, okay, I desire to go to, Los Angeles. And I'm driving, let's say I'm driving. If I put the address to where I'm going in California, but I don't move towards that, get in the car and start driving, then is it going to happen? Is it going to happen if I don't take the steps and move towards it? No, movement is required. You can't sit and expect things to just come to you, right? You've got to be the woman who already has it. You've got to walk like the woman who already has it. You've got to talk like the woman who already has it. You've got to take the actions of someone who already has it. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So, if your desires are of God, and they are, if they are from the larger part of you, and they are, if they are inevitable, and they are, it is time for you to give yourself permission to desire. It is time for you to give yourself permission to play with desires, play with big desires, small desires, medium-sized desires, whatever, and release any shame or guilt for wanting things. Especially when it comes to women, there's this intense amount of shame or guilt because, oh, she wants too much, or, oh, she's asking for too much, or, oh, she's a gold digger, or she's this, and she's just high maintenance, and she's this, because of desires and because of they're wanting something, because you have this strong desire for how, your boundaries are about how you get to be treated and how things get to be for you. No, no, and no, and no. Your desires are divine, and you get to desire it. You get to want it. You get to know that that is coming from a larger part of you, and it is already done. And so this is where you get to heal any place where you aren't allowing yourself to have these beautiful desires, to know that, you know what I want, like this desire to have an amazing relationship, or to have the love of my life, or to, impact millions, or whatever it is, you get to know that desire is of God, and release any shame, release any guilt of wanting, of desiring any of this. And so what I want you to do today as your soul work is going to be a Cinderella turn up. It is about to go ham on desires. And I love this exercise. I love giving it to my clients. I love giving it to my students or anyone in my courses. I love it because it's something that pushes you. So what the Cinderella turn up is that you're writing a list, pages on pages on pages on pages of things you desire, all the things that don't make logical sense, things that are just for fun, things that you're like, I would want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and this would be so fun, and what would be fun, and if I could do this. I mean, things that don't make logical sense. I'd like to eat whatever I want and lose 20 pounds. I'd like to, travel the world and go on private jet. I'd like to, have the most amazing, partner of my life, and have him be strong and sexy and have a six pack. It doesn't matter. I want you to just go ham and give yourself the permission to just want anything. Write it all down. Cinderella turn up. You don't get to just ask for three things. You get to ask for whatever you could absolutely desire. And because we're going to do this, and you're going to look at, oh my goodness, I felt ashamed to write this, or, oh, I felt embarrassed to talk about this, or, oh, who am I to want this? And what you get to do is pay attention to your reactions and the things that you're feeling in your body when it comes to asking for what you truly, truly want. Because for so long, we haven't asked for what we want. We want what other people want for us, but then it's not something that you truly want, or you want what you think you should want, or you're ashamed to want what you really want. All of those things, we're going to get all of that out. And you're going to get it out by writing all the things, anything that comes to your mind, for pages and pages in your journal, so that you can just see and then come back and look at that list and see what it evokes. Is there something like, yes, that would be so fun. I would want that. That would be so fun. And then you're really tapping into, like, if you feel yourself leaning towards it and like, oh my God, yes, this would be so good. And that would be so fun. That's when you can see, oh my goodness, I really do desire that. That is a strong soul desire. Because I want you to remember that your desires are inevitable, and it's those true desires, those soul desires that are within you that you're like, wow, I'm living my most amazing life. Like, I'm living the life of my dreams, and this would be so fun. This would be just so thrilling. I would love to experience this. I would love to experience that, right? Some of those desires are going to be more experiences. They're going to be more things that you're actually experiencing and living and doing. It's going to be less things, but you get to put a lot of things on there, but they're going to start expanding to experiences. And you're going to be like, wow, this feeling, this evokes this feeling. It evokes this feeling. And you'll start to see what true feelings and what true emotions you're desiring to feel. Does that make sense? So what I want you to do is just take some time. This could take 30 minutes. It could take an hour. It could take 10 minutes. I just want you to just decide to release any shame or guilt and decide to write a list of all of the things you could ever desire. Everything. I mean, I want you to just go ham. Everything. right? Things that don't make sense, things that do make sense, things that would be fun, things that would be exciting, experiences that you'd love to have, people you'd love to meet, relationships you'd love to have, the great sex that you want, the orgasms you want to experience, like whatever it is, just all of your true soul's desires. I want you to put that on the list, and I want you to just give yourself the permission to desire those things. Give yourself permission to be a multifaceted, beautiful human that gets to desire all those things. Okay? So that is what we're talking about. Your desires are of God. Your desires are of that larger part of you. There is you in the quantum soup who is experiencing those experiences and is calling you forth to say, girl, now it's time. Come do it. Come take these steps. And you get to just say, okay, yes, I say yes. Because saying yes indeed and yes to these desires and yes to these desires are now dispatching God, universe, source, all of the heavenly hosts in your direction and in the ways to within you and all around you. And in that 95% where everything happens in the spiritual, it gets to dispatch it and it gets to put things on your path. It gets to introduce you to the people that are going to lead you to that yacht that you wanted to take a ride on once. Like there are things that get to start happening, but you get to be clear about, oh my God, this would be fun and this would be fun. And I would love this and I'd enjoy this and I'd enjoy that. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So have fun with this. Release any guilt and shame associated with your desires and let yourself desire what you want. Yay. So Cinderella Turn Up, I want to hear about it. If you are listening on the podcast or if you're live here with me now, if you're watching on YouTube, I don't care. I want you to send me a message and let me know how it went and how like doing these desires and writing this list, what it brought up, because it will bring up some challenges. It'll bring up some good feelings. It'll bring up some things that you get to forgive and love on yourself for, and you get to release all of the guilt and shame associated with asking what you really, truly want. This is going to unleash your throat, unleash your voice, unleash your asking, unleash the desire, the deep desire you have to create a life that you're absolutely obsessed with, because everyone deserves to have that. You get to have that too. So on that note, hugs and kisses and all the feels. Remember that you get to be her now, and you get to take aligned soul action in alignment with what you desire today.